Capitalism made America great. Free markets, innovation, hard work. The building blocks of the American dream. But in the wrong hands, some of those dreams can turn into nightmares. Wall Street's corporate raiders made billions of dollars.
Private equity leaders getting rich at the expense of American workers.
Their greed was only matched by their willingness to do anything to make millions in profits. Nothing was spared, nothing mattered but greed. This film is about one such raider and his firm. Mitt Romney became CEO of Bain Capital the day the company was formed. His mission? To reap massive rewards for himself and his investors.
Mitt Romney and them guys, they don't care who I am.
He's for small businesses. No, he isn't. He's for small businesses. No, he isn't. He's not.
You're going to be on the hit list, you know that.
Romney took foreign seed money from Latin America and began a pattern exploiting dozens of American businesses.
They fire people, they cut benefits, they sell assets.
But okay, let's look deeper. Let's look deeper in his life. What did he do when he was the CEO of this holding company?
This film will highlight just 4 of Romney's many targets, 4 businesses, and the thousands of employees who work there.
And that hurt so bad to leave my home because of one man that's got 15 homes.
He's tearing down his 3,000 square foot house to build an 11,000 square foot house.
I feel that is the man that destroyed us.
I am intimately familiar with how our economy works.
Everything corporations earn ultimately goes to people. So, where do you think it goes? Whose pockets? Whose pockets?
A story of greed, playing the system for a quick buck. A group of corporate raiders led by Mitt Romney. More ruthless than Wall Street. For tens of thousands of Americans, the suffering began when Mitt Romney came to town. The company was Bain Capital. Its CEO and president, a privileged son of a wealthy businessman and politician, Mitt Romney. He had a Harvard pedigree and he was on a tear, making spectacular returns. Stripping American businesses of assets, selling everything to the highest bidder, and often killing jobs for big financial rewards. One stop on Mitt Romney's quest, Marianna, Florida. For more than 50 years, the Unimac Corporation had steadily built an American workforce, becoming the largest commercial laundry equipment manufacturer in North America.
It was pretty much a family-ran organization.
Everybody knew everybody, and they cared about their employees. Everybody was in it for the quality, trying to build a good product, because, I mean, it's part of your name was on it.
They met with everybody, pulled everybody together, and told us we were being sold to Raytheon, and which in turn turned out to be Bain.
Back at his Massachusetts headquarters, Romney had found his target. Bain took control of Unimac.
One of the first things that they did when we became part of the corporation was to start cheapening the product.
So you'd have to hurry faster through your work, and the quality was going down. It got to the point where we would run out of parts trying to push so many out that sometimes we'd send a machine out without a part on it.
You know, I just wish they'd left us alone back in the early 90s, and we'd be making a lot of washing machines and good ones.
If they would just left us alone as Unimac, I think Unimac would still be running right now as Unimac, and still have probably more than 500 employees by now.
According to New York Magazine, Romney's Bain colleagues had a high disdain for American businesses and their workers, describing them as sloppy and lazy. One of the very first orders of business for Romney's Bain team: slash paychecks while keeping the workers in the dark.
We were worried that we weren't going to have a job.
By that time, we'd already had a 3-year-old. I was stressed out all the time because I never knew if I was going to have a job when I came in the next day. And we had insurance there. We both worked there. So when we got, you know, if we was let go, we both would let go at the same time, neither one of us had a job.
And then at the very end, they decided to shut the doors. I was scared, very scared. Shortly after that, in December of '07, my daughter was diagnosed with leukemia. It was real scary, you know, because that was one of the things we worried about, is dropping our insurance and going out on our own, and, you know, not having insurance with a job. It was really scary. So
Romney and Bain upended the company and gutted the workforce. Now they were ready to make a handsome profit.
They did sell us. We were sold to
a teachers union out of Canada. What does teachers know about wash machines?
Romney and Bain's sale to the Canadians netted a whopping 230% profit for Romney and his investors. The deal left behind a trail of wreckage.
I'm convinced that if you want to create jobs, it helps to have had a job. And I've had jobs. And I'll use that experience to help America.
They never could get enough. No matter how much they already had, they just could never get enough money.
For an economy to thrive, there are a lot of people who will suffer as a result of that.
For Tracy and Tommy Jones, their brush with Mitt Romney and Bain nearly tore their family apart.
We did. We lost our insurance. We didn't have any income, and it was very stressful, and it took a strain on our marriage.
Your whole lifestyle changed because you're making this much, now you're making this much.
And your bills are still up here, and your income's still down here. And it's very bad. It's very stressful.
Romney and Bain's cash rampage would ultimately slash jobs in nearly every state in the country, like popular children's toy seller, KB Toys.
Where are you gonna find all the hottest toys? On the planet Mars? No! On a mountaintop? Hot we got at KB Toys.
Romney and Bain bought the 80-year-old company in 2000, loaded KB Toys with millions in debt, then used the money to repurchase Bain's stock. The debt was too staggering. By 2004, 365 stores had closed.
All the latest toys to choose from. Hot we got at KB.
The company is shutting down all of its stores.
The Attorney General is advising people to cash in those cards as soon as possible. As we told you just yesterday, the toy chain has filed for bankruptcy.
Romney called it creative destruction.
Creative destruction does enhance productivity. For an economy to thrive, and as ours does, there are a lot of people who will suffer as a result of that.
Romney and other top executives take $120 million. By 2009, the debt accumulated under Romney was too great. KB Toys was no more.
Make a profit. That's the name of the game, right?
Mitt Romney and Bain saw a 900% return on their investment. Romney and Bain's profits, at the expense of 15,000 jobs, was described by the Boston Herald as disgusting.
Mitt Romney's campaign boasts of the jobs the Republican presidential candidate created while running private equity firm Bain Capital. What it doesn't talk about is Romney's experience eliminating jobs.
Under Romney, Bain was making billions, at the same time contributing to the greatest American job loss since World War II. It was called the Bain Way, Romney's Bain Capital almost always managing to turn the misfortunes of others into their own enormous financial gains. A striking example of this was a technology company Bain financed, with facilities in Texas, Colorado, and California. The company was called DDI. With help from friends at Wall Street's Lehman Brothers, Bain was set to offer an initial public offering of stock in DDI. Lehman Brothers would issue a buy rating, and Romney and Bain would watch investors swarm. A signature of Romney's Bain Way strategy, employees were quickly fired in order to pump up profits. Helped by a favorable rating from Bain's Wall Street friends, DDI's 12 million share IPO raised a quick $170 million. People were buying into the promise that DDI was headed to become a billion-dollar company. Then, instead of sticking with the stock, Bain dumped it. Just after 6 months, Bain sold shares, making $39 million. Then they dumped the rest just 4 months later, collecting $54 million more. All the while, the Wall Street banks they hired gave cover, issuing glowing reports. DDI ended up losing $400 million. A little over 2 years later, the stock was nearly worthless. The result? DDI filed for bankruptcy. 2,100 jobs were lost. Average investors without insider connections were left with huge losses. Romney denies being involved with the controversial deal, claiming to have left Bain to lead the 2002 Olympic Organizing Committee.
Bonjour, je m'appelle Mitt Romney, et je suis président.
But SEC filings prove otherwise. During the DDI deal, Romney is listed as a member of the management committee of Bain Capital, with control of over 1.3 million shares of DDI Corporation. Sure enough, the probe uncovered evidence that Lehman Brothers continued to encourage investors to buy DDI stock, even though they had misgivings themselves. Romney's Bain Way model played out over and over. Employees, creditors, and investors were hurt. But not Bain. Even though time and time again thousands of jobs were lost, investors and creditors were out hundreds of millions. Romney and Bain made piles of money. The vicious cycle would play itself out this time in America's heartland.
Marion used to be such a booming town.
We used to be a town full of industry.
We were just like all family out there, you know. And it changed. Overnight, it changed.
It sure did.
In 1992, an interesting prospect appeared on the Romney-Bain radar. A paper company called AMPAD with plants in Holyoke, Massachusetts, Buffalo, New York, and Marion, Indiana. The potential was there for Romney and his investors to reap a bonanza of cash, perhaps over $100 million.
I think this company knew when they come in, they had no intention of keeping us.
And they told us we'd been bought by AMPAD and that we were all fired. Well, they said AMPAD Corporation, but the guy that was in charge of the AMPAD Corporation at that time was Mitt Romney.
I was pregnant at the time, and at the meeting they told everybody that we were all fired, that we had to reapply for our jobs. We made appointments to do this hiring process. We went in and interviewed, and they would let us know yay or nay. Mine was a nay.
We just knew we was going to have a job, that, you know, it was going to be okay for us till AMPAD come in, and then that got very, very scary.